Am I that bad? I applied to 5 companies a day, at least 3, but I couldn't progress past the interview anywhere. I'm about to have a breakdown. Master's degree students from key universities in China are also struggling to find work. Sometimes I really wonder what the point of going to college is. I majored in copywriting and planning in college. I only had a few professional classes every week, and the rest were all Marx, modern history, and social experiment classes, employment and entrepreneurship classes. Anyway, I know a little bit about everything, but I'm not good at anything. The result is that the school found out that everyone, regardless of whether they went to college or not, can do the job in my field. Some companies don't even pay you during the internship period, and you can't become a full-time employee. This is really crazy. An unemployed female college student says she doesn't go out anymore and only spends her time applying for work. For the unemployed, there is actually no distinction between weekdays and weekends. It's only about whether they can send out resumes, whether they can go to work, and whether they have interview opportunities. The only thing that motivates me to leave the house right now is to attend interviews. Otherwise, I wouldn't step out at all. Of course, I understand that staying home can be boring and dull, but going out means spending money. I don't want to spend money. I don't want to dine out, go shopping, or watch movies because I'm not earning anything. Since I have no income, I can't justify spending or indulging in consumption. My daily life is very simple. It revolves around sending out resumes. The youth unemployment rate in China remains high, made worse by a projected increase in university graduates this year to 11.8 million, which is 210,000 more than last year. Oddly, in an effort to boost employment rates, many mainland universities are urging graduates not to solely focus on civil service exams and postgraduate studies, but to consider assisting poverty alleviation in rural areas. On March 2nd, Heihe University in Heilongjiang Province issued a message through its Enrollment and Employment Office. In the university's employment proposal for the class of 2024, it advises students who haven't finalized their career paths to explore opportunities in grassroots service projects like special post teachers, 3 supports and 1 assistance, and the Western Plan. At the same time, several other universities, including Zhejiang Sci-Tech University, School of Economics Fujian Normal University, and Hainan Normal University, have also issued open letters or proposals with similar content. The proposal from the School of Economics at Fujian University states, with limited supply of official positions and corporate jobs within the official system, competition for employment is intense and the job market is grim. Therefore, it is recommended that graduates participate in national grassroots service projects, such as 3 supports and 1 assistance and the Western Plan, and students are encouraged to apply for military service and work in remote areas and frontline grassroots positions. The open letter from Hainan Normal University calls on graduates to recognize the complexity, severity, and uncertainty of the international environment in 2024 and adjust their employment expectations accordingly, urging them not to underestimate themselves. Since the onset of the pandemic 3 years ago, the Chinese economy has continued to decline. In the summer of 2023, over 11.5 million university graduates entered the job market, resulting in a historic youth unemployment rate. According to official statistics from the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, as of June 2023, 21.3% of young people aged 16 to 24 in urban areas were unemployed, a figure that some economists estimate to be much higher. With the steadily increasing unemployment rate, stable and decent jobs are becoming increasingly difficult to find, leading to some chaos. Firstly, there has been a trend of buying jobs with money. During the Chinese New Year in 2024, many young people returning to their hometowns collectively expressed the idea of working abroad to earn more money, aiming to save up for a decent job. Investigations have found that on Chinese social media platforms such as Xiaohongshu, there are many companies posing as consulting service providers. These companies openly list prices for various positions, such as at China's largest noodle manufacturer, Master Kong, priced at tens of thousands of yuan. Positions at state-owned enterprises, such as FAW Group and its subsidiary, Hongqi, are priced at around 200,000 yuan, approximately $27,000, and positions at centrally owned enterprises are priced at over 450,000 yuan, approximately $63,000. There are also reports from netizens that a position at China Post, a major postal service company in China, is priced at 120,000 yuan, approximately $16,000, but the annual salary is not high. Positions in rural areas offer an annual salary of 60,000 to 80,000 yuan, approximately $8,000 to $11,000, slightly higher than those in urban areas. In this way, it would take at least 2 years of living expenses to make up for the cost of purchasing a job. In this cutthroat landscape, the rush to find quick solutions is growing. On platforms like Xiaohongshu, discussions about where and how to buy jobs are common. Some say that in many areas, most good jobs are purchased, emphasizing that without spending money, it's hard to find work. Hu Hui, a recent master's graduate from Changchun City, Jilin Province, had planned to stay in her local area and work as a teacher at a private university, but she was rejected multiple times. By chance, she discovered a recruitment notice on Xiaohongshu, which turned out to be the position she had been interviewing for. Through the recruiting company, she learned that the price for the position was 140,000 yuan, approximately $20,000. This left her feeling disillusioned, realizing that interviews were futile, and that paying was the only effective route to employment. Hu Hui's roommate also realized early on that buying a job is the only way, and worked in distant places like Hainan in the hopes of buying a job back home for 300,000 yuan, approximately $40,000. Many of the unemployed are highly educated. A recent job ad from Sichuan Information Vocational and Technical College has attracted attention. The recruitment requirements show that the security department is recruiting 2 security officers, requiring candidates to be born on or after January 1, 1988, and hold postgraduate degrees or above. If they are retired military officers or have a degree in public security-related majors, the requirements can be relaxed to a bachelor's degree. University job fairs post positions such as service staff and dishwasher. On March 4, 2023, at a job fair held at Henan University of Economics and Law, several hotels and catering companies recruited service staff, appetizer chefs, baggage handlers, and dishwashers. The monthly salary for service staff ranged from 3,000 to 4,000 yuan, approximately $420 to $550, while cashiers' monthly salaries ranged from 2,000 to 3,000 yuan, approximately $278 to $410. In response, the Zhengzhou Public Employment Talent Service Center stated that some positions in this recruitment are open to the public. A representative from a catering company said that recruiting for these positions at job fairs for recent graduates was not inappropriate, and capable university graduates would have the opportunity to advance to management positions. This news has sparked heated discussions online. Some netizens commented, "Dishwashers promoted to management? Is customer service too naive or the school too silly?" Another netizen wrote, "Studying hard for 10 years, graduating to become a dishwasher. After entering the workforce with a bachelor's degree, you find that your classmates who went to vocational school are also washing dishes in the kitchen with you, and you may not even wash dishes as well as they do. This isn't a fantasy novel, it's naked reality." Another netizen sarcastically remarked, "We bid farewell to the era of cheap rural laborers, and welcome the era of cheap university students." Other netizens wonder why the Chinese Communist Party is so eager to lure university students to rural areas. Firstly, some scholars believe that it is primarily related to plans of annexing Taiwan. The recent conscription document issued by the CCP focuses on university students and graduates aged 24. In rural areas, conscription is obligatory for those working or attending school. Mr. Li, who is knowledgeable about the situation, disclosed that starting from 2023, students from rural households in Hebei province must undergo compulsory conscription, while those from urban households are currently exempt. Experts believe that the CCP is preparing for a large-scale comprehensive war. Although Xi Jinping currently lacks the ability to attack Taiwan, it is not ruled out that he might take risks. Yuan Hongbing, a legal scholar living in Australia, pointed out that mandatory conscription in rural areas is because the rural population is the largest in China, and rural areas are not political, economic, or cultural centers. Therefore, in the event of war, if rural soldiers suffer significant casualties, it will not have the same rapid and significant political and economic impact as the death of urban soldiers. This is a fundamental reason why the CCP is vigorously recruiting rural soldiers. However, many scholars also believe that this is related to the economic downturn in China. Dr. Xie Tian, a professor at the School of Business at the University of South Carolina, said, "With the aftermath of the zero-COVID policy and the relocation of industrial chains, a large number of joint ventures and foreign-funded enterprises have withdrawn from China, rapidly increasing unemployment. The mass exodus of manufacturing from China has resulted in widespread unemployment among migrant workers and young people. Reduced hiring exacerbates the problem, indirectly causing the overall economy to decline." In response, the CCP has intensified propaganda efforts. Members of the National People's Congress and the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference have also come up with various proposals to send educated youths to the countryside or get them to take menial jobs. In 2023, Ma Huaide, a member of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference and president of China University of Political Science and Law, advised university graduates to start from basic work and environments. Wang Hong, a professor at China University of Mining and Technology School of Chemical Engineering and a National People's Congress deputy born in the 1990s, encouraged students to consider career options beyond popular professions and urban areas, suggesting a return to rural areas. And Zhang Tianren, a National People's Congress deputy and chairman of Tianneng Holding Group Company, went further by proposing a report on guiding university students into agricultural work to tackle the issue of unemployment for graduates. CCP leader Xi Jinping has also personally advocated for this. In May 2023, a report from Xinhua News Agency, the CCP official media, mentioned Xi Jinping's letter to students, in which he said, "You mentioned in your letter that you need to go deep into rural China to truly understand what seeking truth from facts means and how to connect with the masses. It's good to say that young people should seek hardships. This is the spirit that young people in the new era of China should have." Many analysts have pointed out that Xi Jinping's approach is similar to Mao Zedong's tactics during the Cultural Revolution. It seems like a broad and promising future, but actually conceals the economic recession and high unemployment rates, deceiving young people to go into rural areas to solve the problem of youth unemployment. Song Yongyi, a Cultural Revolution expert and retired professor from the University of California, pointed out in an interview with Radio Free Asia, "This is entirely the brainwashing and foolish policy of the Cultural Revolution era. During Mao Zedong's era, educated youth were sent to the countryside, making them peasant-like and lowering their level of knowledge. Telling youth that suffering is a manifestation of ideals and aspirations is ignorant. Finding trouble for oneself without reason is mocking human civilization." Professor Song said that if leaders in democratic countries like the United States and Taiwan advocated for youth to seek hardships, they would certainly be ousted from office, but sadly, China does not have an electoral system, and so people do not have this right. Wu Jianzhong, Secretary General of the Taiwan Institute for Strategy, said it's no secret that China's economy is tanking. China's technological and industrial transformation has suffered setbacks, yet the solution proposed by the CCP is sending youth to the countryside. Can sending nearly 20% of young people to the countryside solve this problem? Wu Jianzhong believes that by driving peasants back to rural areas, there will be no so-called unemployment problem. All this talk about rural revitalization is really the CCP's attempt to distort unemployment rates. Some netizens suggested these CCP representatives should send their own children to the countryside as an example. Nie Riming, a researcher at the Shanghai Institute of Finance and Law, also said, "High unemployment rates will not force young people to work in rural areas, because rural areas do not have the jobs they want." A comment on China Digital Times, a website tracking the Chinese internet, summarized the sentiment. "These bastards, referring to the Chinese government officials, have been detached from the masses for too long." So, looking ahead, will the employment rate for Chinese university students improve in 2024? Many people are skeptical. On March 3, 2024, Ni Mingjin, a member of the National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference and director of the Shanghai Science and Technology Museum, told the CCP's official media that they will focus on scientific education and the employment of university students in 2024. He also suggested that all employers should allocate some positions for university students. However, this statement quickly sparked public doubts, and related topics trended on mainland social media platforms. Netizens commented, "You guys just give suggestions and coping strategies when encountering problems without offering real solutions. It's like being rogues. Just patting yourselves on the back, shouting slogans. Everyone just says a bunch of beautiful words." It's rotten, all talk. Another netizen said, many companies are struggling to pay salaries and owe a lot of debts. How can they offer positions? From what I know, state-owned enterprises operate by nepotism. Those suggesting this should retire and make way for others. Many university students, in order to avoid unemployment after graduation, have chosen to continue their education. In February 2024, according to a report by the Economic Observer, the number of graduate students enrolled nationwide increased from 670,000 in 2016 to 1.2 million in 2022, almost doubling. However, this phenomenon has led to recent situations in Beijing, Shanghai, and other places where some college and universities have a shortage of dormitories, such as they no longer provide accommodation for postgraduate students. The report stated that many universities have already built new campuses, but these new campuses have also become overloaded. Peking University, Nankai University, and Fudan University clearly stated in their 2024 brochures that they will no longer provide dormitories for full-time professional master's students. In addition, some schools have relocated staff dormitories to accommodate students or directly arranged for students to rent off-campus dormitories. Some schools have also expanded and renovated dormitories to squeeze in more beds. The reason is simple: the schools are already full. However, a netizen named Wu Changhe from Beijing wrote, "Not having dormitories is not terrible. Finding accommodation outside is just a matter of cost. No matter how difficult it is, parents will try their best to support their children when they get admitted. What's terrible is that after graduation, with the expansion of undergraduate enrollment, companies in the job market are becoming more selective. If you are not from a top-tier university, it's hard to find a suitable job, because companies don't need so many people.